thanks so much for tuning in, and thank you for those who voted on my Instagram story on which video that I'm going to be instructing you this week. And I'm putting you through a step-by-step instructional video of a beginner's flow that I posted yesterday on my Instagram story. So you're going to be put through a warm-up and then that step-by-step video of the flow. Now I only instructed it once, but I want you guys to do it 5 times on each side. So that's a total of 10 reps. So let me know how it goes. Make sure you send me an email back. And if you want any other videos, just go ahead and send me a message. Thanks. We're gonna start today on our all fours position for our warm-up. So we're gonna start by mobilizing our joints in the fingers and in the wrist. So you're gonna be in a nice all fours position. Hands are underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. And let's just start by lifting up onto the tips of the fingers. So you're lifting your palm up, the third knuckle is staying planted, and you're gonna press down through the thumbs. And then from here, all we're gonna do is lean slightly forward. And you're just gonna breathe. You may feel some burning sensation, you may feel some tingling sensation. It's totally fine. If you feel pain, just back off a little bit. If you look down onto your hands as well, you'll also see some white appearing in between the second knuckle and your fingernail. That's totally fine. It's just a circulation. Just use your breath. We're holding here for another 5, for 4, 3, 2, and then we'll slowly release. Good. Now, let's flip the palms to face up, fingertips facing in. Arms are nice and long, and we're gonna start to bend the elbows out to the side. So as we do that, the chest is gonna reach as close to the floor as we can. Now, as we lengthen those arms, we're gonna stretch out through the wrists. Same thing, bend and reach. Again, bend and reach. Keep pressing down through those fingers for 5, 4, 3, for 2. One more time. Awesome, reach long. Now keep the palms facing up, just flip those fingertips to face in. Arms are still gonna be nice and long here, and all you're going to do is lean back in space, and keep using your breath here. Slide your shoulders down. You're gonna feel a nice stretch of that wrist. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and we'll slowly release that. Beautiful. Flip your palms to face down, fingertips facing forward, hands are still underneath your shoulders, and you're gonna circle around that wrist joint just to let go of any excess tension that you're holding there. And then we'll switch the opposite way. All right, let's move into the feet. So we're gonna stretch out through the toes and the ankles, the backs of the feet. So you're gonna curl your back toes under, and all we're gonna do is lean back, reaching your sit bones to your heels, and then you're gonna lift back up. Same thing. Sit bones to the heels and lift back up. Keep going for 5 and 4. Keep those toes curled under. For 3, for 2. Now on the last one, you're gonna keep the sit bones to the heels, hold, walk back with your hands, and just have a seat right on top of the heels. Spine is gonna be nice and long. You can just take those hands on top of your thighs and use your breath. Depending on how mobile you are in your toes and your feet, this may be super painful for you, or it could be okay. So just see for yourself. Keep holding. We're holding for another 5, 4, 3, for 2. Awesome. And then slowly release. Uncurl your toes. Have a seat on the tops of the feet and just relax. This could also be painful for you depending on how mobile your feet are again. Or it can feel a nice sensation. Hold it. Use your breath. Good, and then we're going to lift back up. Curl your back toes under, same thing, have a seat. Hold the stretch. Try to focus on your breath, especially if you're finding this is super difficult. You want to keep breathing, you want to focus. This is the only way that your feet are going to get mobile and feel strong when you're moving into a flow exercise. So you want to make sure that you're doing these. And then uncurl your toes, have a seat again. Also really great for the knee joint. Keep breathing. Good. And then we'll lift back up to our all fours position. Now from here, let's go ahead and strengthen out through our shoulders. So what we're gonna do is curl the back toes under. We're gonna press down through the fingertips and toes. Now as you press through those hands, I want you to protract those shoulders. So what this means is kind of you're making this arc shape at the top of your shoulders, widening out those shoulder blades, really pressing in through those hands. As you press, the knees lift just an inch off the mat, and you're gonna hold this position. We're holding and using our breath. Let's hold for 10. For 9, keep pressing, make it strong. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Awesome. Now before you drop those knees, walk on back with those hands. You're gonna lower your heels as close to the floor as you can and have a seat. And we're holding the squat position. So same thing, depending on how mobile you are in your feet and your knees, this may be comfortable for you or maybe super uncomfortable. If you're finding that the heels are slightly lifted, that's totally fine. Just stay in your position that you are and hold it. Eventually those heels will slowly melt down to the floor as you keep doing these exercises. Now we're going to strengthen the shoulders in another way, moving into what's called a crab position. This is mostly you'll see in an animal flow exercise. So feet will be planted, our hands will be behind us. Now have those fingertips facing back, and your tailbone is going to be nice and heavy. So as you can see with my body, it's a nice M shape. So you want to make that M shape with your body. Press down through those feet, keep your tailbone low, press through those hands. And I want you to lift your chest up and squeeze your shoulder blades together as much as you can. Keep your head aligned with your spine. Hold it. Use your breath. The more that you can lift the chest and squeeze your shoulder blades in, the more you're going to get the benefits of this strength pose. Holding for another 5, 4, 3, for 2, good, and then we're going to walk forward with those hands and have a seat in that squat. Just rest for a moment. So I want you to rewind or pause and do the same exercises again in your all fours in your crab holding. And then once you're done that, we're going to move on to these exercises. So the next thing we're going to do is be back in that all fours position. Knees are lifted. You're pressing through those hands, protracting those shoulders. And we're going to start to lift our right hand and left foot off. You're going to drop the hand and foot with control and switch to the other side. And you're going to do that 10 times for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Back to your all fours. Then walk on back into that squat and hold. Take a breath. And then you're moving into that crab, and we're doing the same thing with the hands and the feet. So hands are behind you, fingertips facing back as we did, tailbone heavy. Then go ahead and start to lift your right hand and left foot. Drop it. Left hand, right foot. Drop it. Keep switching for 10. Make sure that chest is lifted. 9, 8, 7, for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, good, and then walk on forward into that squat. Now again, rewind or pause, do that same thing a couple more times, lifting hand and foot, opposite hand and foot in your all fours, and in that crab position before we move on to the next thing. Right, so the next thing that we're going to be doing here from this squat position, just go ahead and plop down on the floor. Take your hands behind you, feet are forward in front of you. Feet are about hip-width apart, and you're just going to sway side to side with those legs, just to move around through those hips, the hip joint. Keep switching from right to left. Good. Now let's bring it over to the right hold. You're going to start to press down through both of the legs. Use your right hand to help you. You're going to lift up, pressing those hips forward. Go ahead and drop down and then switch over to the other side, same thing. Lift, press your hips forward, use your glutes to help you, drop down, and switch. And eventually, maybe we don't have to use those hands. But for this video, since it's a beginner's video, use your hands to help you, okay? Let's go for another 4. Squeeze your glutes at the top for 3. For 2. Very good. One more time. And bring it to center and just sway side to side just to let go of any tension that you're holding. And then we'll move back into that squat position.
2, 1, go.
All right, last thing for our warm up here, we're just gonna do a regular squat. So we're down here, we're just going to lift, wrap your glutes at the top, drop all the way back down, as low as you can. Lift, wrap those glutes, and lower. Keep going, press through your feet to help you. And lift. Let's go for another 6. And 5. For 4. 3. Use your breath to help you. For 2. One more time. And drop down. And slowly release. All right, let's get into the flow. So the first move is our crawl forwards. We're in this all fours position. Knees are lifted. We're stepping forward for 4. So you're gonna step your right hand forward, left foot forward. So it's always opposite. Left hand forward, right foot forward. Right hand forward, left foot forward. Left hand, right foot. And then drop down into your squat. Then from here, we're moving into that rotation. So we're taking our hands over to the right. Fingertips are gonna be facing back. I'm gonna lengthen my left leg long, and I'm going to swipe that left leg into a half circle. I'm gonna switch, placing the weight more onto the left foot, lengthen the right leg long, and swipe over to the right. Rotate onto the balls of the feet, and then drop those heels down. Then we're moving into a rotation bridge. So you're taking that right hand back, fingertips facing back. As I lift the hips, I'm rotating that left arm around. Hips lift, arm drapes. Look down to the floor, to your right hand, and then rotate out of it. Drop those hips down. Squat jump here, lift it up, drop it down, and then lateral ape over to the left. Hands reach to the left, fingertips facing forward. Lift the hips up. You're gonna lift your right foot off. Switch the left foot with your right foot. Go ahead and drop the feet down and into that squat position. All right, let's move on to the other side now. So we're moving, traveling over to the left. So of course, again, we're starting in that crawl. So press down through those hands. Knees are lifted. Step your left hand forward, right foot forward. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. Right hand, left foot. Drop into your squat. Now you're rotating to the left. So you're taking your hands over, fingertips facing back. Reach your right leg long. Slide it all the way over. Switch the feet. Slide that left foot all the way over to the left. Drop down to your squat. Rotating into that bridge, fingertips facing back. As you lift the hips, that right arm rotates. Drapes over, look down towards your left hand. Then rotate out of it into that squat. Squat jump, lift. Lateral ape over to the right. Hands reach to the right, lift up onto the balls of the feet. Left foot lifts. Switch your right foot with your left foot and drop down into your squat. Okay, so we're in a nice comfortable seated position. So it's up to you whether you want to be cross-legged or maybe on your shins. See what feels comfortable. And we're just going to take our hands, we're going to